Hey guys, Alex here. Welcome back to my channel. A channel about real estate, personal finance, and business. In today's vlog, I will be sharing with you how to do due diligence. So as a real estate broker, it is something that I do for my clients because when a client is interested in a property, we don't close deal immediately. The next thing that we have to do is to check the title. So we check the title at the Registry of Deeds and then we check the tax declaration. So I will be sharing with you the exact process that I use in due diligence, and it's something that you can do as well. Okay, so let's start. First is I check the title, the actual title status at the Registry of Deeds. So each city has its own ROD. So you can just ask for a copy of the title from the seller. With the details that are reflected in the title, you can just bring a copy at ROD, fill up a form, and then you just have to pay an amount, a very minimal amount. Usually it's between 200 to 500 pesos. And then you need to wait for about 3 days for the certified true copy to be released from the Registry of Deeds. So what exactly is a certified true copy? So it is a reflection of the actual copy of the title, of the seller's title in the Registry of Deeds, because every title has two original copies. One can be located at the Registry of Deeds and the other is within the possession of usually the owner or the seller of the property. So there are times when the seller's copy of the title does not reflect its actual status. So what do I mean by this? For example, if the seller, for example, got a mortgage on his property, so he bought his property through bank financing, and then he was already able to fully pay for the property. So once a mortgage is taken out on a property, it will be annotated at the back of the title that there is a mortgage on this property for, say, 5 million pesos. Once the title of the property is fully paid, BDO will then release a certificate saying this property is already fully paid. And then you can bring your title at ROD to cancel the mortgage. So your title will be released after a week or two. Then the mortgage can no longer be seen because it will then be canceled. So what some of my clients don't do is they don't make these changes. They don't cancel the mortgage because they're too busy or they get distracted by other things that they need to do. If you look at their original copy of the title, there's still a mortgage annotated. But once you get a certified true copy at the Registry of Deeds, it will reflect the actual status of the title and you can see that there is no longer a mortgage. That is the reason why I highly encourage you as the buyer of a property to really do your due diligence, because you will only know the true status of the property that you want to buy by actually doing your homework. And this is the first thing that you should do. You should get a certified true copy from the Registry of Deeds. So the expense, as I mentioned, is very minimal. It's only between 200 to 500 or 600 pesos. It will actually depend on the number of pages that the title has. So for example, if the title only has around 2 pages, so that will cost probably around 200 plus. But if there are a lot of pages, 5-6 pages, because of the deed of restrictions attached to the title, making it longer, then you will pay more. Okay, so again, number one, that's step one in doing due diligence. You need to get a certified true copy of the title at the Registry of Deeds so you can check the actual status of your title. You need to check at the back, because if the title is clean, then after the description, because when you see a title, usually there's the address, the name of the seller, so you will see that all in the front, and then the description of the property. And then since the description is too long, it's often continued at the back, like from point B to blah, 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 north to west. So you can see that. So that's actually the description of the lot. So after the description, if there is any liens or encumbrances on the property, if it is mortgaged, it will follow. So there will be an annotation following the lot description. That's why it's very important to really double check this, because real estate is a big investment. So you need to do these little things prior to paying for the property. After getting a certified true copy at the Registry of Deeds, the next step is you will also need to get a certified true copy of the tax declaration. So there are 3 to 4 things that you need to request from City Hall. So again, the payment of this is just very minimal, just around 120 to around 120 pesos for everything. So first is, if it's a house and lot, then you'll need to request for a certified true copy of the tax declaration of the building and of the lot. So that is separate. There's a separate tax deck for the lot and the building. And then you will need to request also for a certificate of latest and still existing. So that's another document. And if it's a lot only, then you will also need to request for a certificate of no improvement. So that's 4 documents in total. And then request for a tax clearance to make sure that the real property tax for that property has been fully paid for the whole year. So if it's not yet fully paid, then you can just get a billing and then request for the seller to update his or her real property tax before closing the deal. And then the third thing that you need to do, if the property is located inside a subdivision, is to go to their homeowners association or their HOA office and request for clearance from their homeowners association. So many of my clients often forget to request for a clearance from the HOA. So that's my job as a broker. I'm the one who looks out for them and requests for all these things from them, because these are just little things, but these are the things that buyers often forget because it's not something that they do on a daily basis. Unlike me, for example, that it's something that I do regularly, that I do before we close a deal. So for HOA dues, usually here in Cagayan de Oro, it's around 3 to 8 pesos per square meter for subdivisions, for house and lots located inside subdivisions. Now for homeowners, usually they are updated because they live inside a subdivision. But for lot owners, most of the time, they're not updated, especially if they live outside the country or if they live in a different city. So sometimes they just buy a lot and then they don't pay or they forget to pay for the HOA dues for years and years until they decide to sell the property. So that's when they discover, oh, I have HOA dues to pay pala. So sometimes buyers also don't know that they need to settle the homeowners association dues. They are not aware because they think that because I'm not living in the subdivision, I don't need to pay for the dues. So that is incorrect, because if you get a lot inside a subdivision that has HOA dues, then you will need to pay because you own a property inside that subdivision. So the request for clearance, you will just need to go to the homeowner association office or to the developer's office if their HOA doesn't have a separate office. If their office is also in the office where the developer is holding office, then you can just get there. But wherever their office is, just request for a homeowners association clearance, or just a receipt will do, because you will see from the receipt what's the month, the last month that they paid for their HOA dues. But clearance is safer because some buyers, like for example, a client of mine bought a lot in Pueblo de Oro and then he's updated with his homeowners association dues. But when he decided to sell, he discovered that the previous owner was not able to pay for the past 2 years for his monthly dues at the homeowners association for that subdivision. So, I mean, who has to pay for that then? Will it be the buyer or the seller? So that's a dilemma that needs to be settled between the two parties. So that's why you have to be very careful. You have to request for the homeowners association clearance because the bill can go quite high. And then if it's a house and lot, number 4, fourth thing you need to do diligence. If it's a house and lot, then you need to ask for the receipts, all the receipts of the utilities. So internet, water, electricity. So make sure that it's updated so that when you move into your new home, then you won't be having to pay for the past bills of the seller. Okay, so basically that's it. So again, let me summarize. First, so to do due diligence, before buying a property, you have to do these 4 things. So first is you have to get a certified true copy at the Registry of Deeds. Second is you have to get certified true copies of the tax declaration for both the lot and the building. You have to get tax clearance. And then third, get a clearance from the homeowners association of that subdivision. And fourth is ask for all the receipts for the utilities to make sure that the seller was able to update them prior to moving out. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope I was able to help you out. Don't forget that it's very, very important to do your due diligence when buying a property. So if you learned something new from this video, please don't forget to hit like for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified if I have new videos like this one. Till next time!